If you've ever sat on the floor with a child who is lining up cars, spinning wheels, or dumping toys over and over, you've probably wondered, should I step in? Should I show them something new, or should I just let them do what they're doing? It's such an important question, especially when we're working or parenting young autistic children, because here's the tension. We do want to expand play, but we don't want to take it over. Today, we're going to talk about how to gently expand play skills while still honoring autistic play as meaningful, valid, and joyful. I'm Tara Phillips, and this is the Autism Little Learners podcast, where I share simple, neuro-affirming tools to support young autistic children with compassion and confidence. Before we talk about expanding anything, we need to anchor ourselves here. Exploratory play is a real stage of development. When a child is dumping, mouthing, shaking, spinning, or lining things up, they're not doing nothing. They are exploring through their senses. They are gathering information, and they are building a sensory foundation. As we've talked about before, exploratory play is often seen in infancy, but autistic children may remain in that stage longer. And that doesn't make it wrong, it just means their developmental pathway is different. Exploratory play builds sensory processing skills, lays the groundwork for language, supports cognitive development, helps children understand cause and effect. So when we talk about expanding play, we're not trying to erase exploratory play. We're building from it. Now, when we're talking about the difference between expanding play and taking it over, let's talk about what we're trying to avoid. Taking over play looks like redirecting immediately because play doesn't look quote unquote functional, removing toys and replacing them with what we think the child should play with, forcing imitation, interrupting repetitive play too quickly, turning play into a drill session. And we know what that looks like. Expanding play looks like observing first, joining gently, adding one small idea, following their interest, leaving room for them to accept or reject your idea. The key difference, control. Taking over shifts the control to the adult. Expanding keeps the child in the driver's seat. The first thing we're going to talk about is observing before you do anything. Before you expand, pause. The Hannon Center's OWL strategy, O is for observe, W for wait, L for listen, is powerful here. Get down, literally, on their level. Watch carefully. What are they actually doing? Are they dumping objects repeatedly, spinning one wheel over and over, putting things in and taking them out, watching objects fall, repeating one action with intense focus? When we slow down enough to observe, we finally realize something important. The child already has a pattern, and the patterns are something we can build from. Step 2, join, don't interrupt. If a child's lining up cars, instead of saying, let's drive them, and jump in with your agenda, try lining up your own cars next to theirs. If they're spinning a wheel, spin another wheel next to them. If they're dumping blocks, get a second container and dump yours too. When you imitate them first, you're sending a powerful message. I see you, what you're doing matters, and it's really cool, and I'm not here to change you. Connection always comes before expansion. Step 3, add one small idea. Once the child's comfortable with you in their space and that you're not going to take things and move them around, you can gently add something new. But here's the key, add one small variation, not 5. Not a whole storyline, just one. For example, if they're putting objects into a container, so exploratory put in play, you might add a sound effect as it drops. Pause and say, ready, set, and wait. Hold it briefly, wait for eye gaze or gesture, put in one object, and then tip the container over dramatically. You're not replacing the activity, you're stretching it. Now let's talk about moving from exploratory to what we call one-step functional play. As we've talked about in earlier episodes, one-step functional play is when a child performs one expected action with a toy. It could be pushing a car or putting a ball down a ramp. And this transition often starts with cause and effect. So instead of dumping objects randomly, the child might notice, if I do this, something happens. So if a child loves dropping objects, a tot tube, I'll link it in the show notes so you know what I'm talking about, or a ramp is a beautiful bridge because it keeps that sensory element of the drop, but add structure and predictability. You're not saying stop dropping toys or objects. You're saying let's drop them in a new way. And that expansion happens, and it's so much better than taking over and being like, stop dropping toys, stop dropping objects. Not okay. Okay. So what if they only do one action repeatedly? And this is really common, right? Maybe they only push the car, or maybe they only open and close the door, or they only put the people in the bus. Instead of replacing the toy or demanding something different, think in layers. Layer 1, expand the variety of toys. If they can push one car, introduce pushing a bus, pushing a train, and model pushing those things too. Layer 2, expand the variety of actions. So if they push the car, let's add the ramp. Can we put the car down the ramp? That's still pushing it. Can we push the car through a tunnel? Can we make two cars crash into each other? And then layer 3, combine actions. Once they know multiple single actions, you can combine them. So we're going to put the people in the bus, and then we're going to push the bus. We're going to put the car down the ramp, and we're going to crash at the bottom. Expansion comes easier when you build one small action at a time from something they already love. We cannot talk about expanding play without talking about regulation. Many autistic children rely on repetitive or sensory play because it feels safe and predictable. And if we interrupt that abruptly, we increase stress. If we honor it first, then gently add, we maintain safety. Remember, play should be pleasurable, intrinsically motivated, flexible, voluntary, and actively engaging. If the child becomes distressed when you add something new, that's feedback. It means that stretch was too big, or the timing wasn't right, or they needed more connection with you first. And that's okay. We adjust. As children build multiple one-step and two-step play actions, pretend play starts to emerge. Pretend play doesn't appear out of nowhere. It grows from this developmental sequence of exploratory play, functional play, multi-step play, pretend play. If we skip stages and jump right to pretend scenarios with a child who's still dumping or banging just based on their age, and we think, oh, they should be doing pretend play, we risk overwhelming them. And instead, if they love putting animals in the barn, you might gently beside them add a sleeping action and a feeding action and a washing action. And you might be modeling without expectation, and maybe they don't copy you or they don't pick it up yet. That's okay. We're putting it out there for them. If they love washing toys in water, you might add soap or a towel, add a night-night after bath. Pretend grows when functional play feels comfortable. Now, let's talk about letting go of the outcome, because this is a hard part for us educators. We're goal-driven, we want progress, we want data, but expansion without takeover means we also accept that not every idea will stick. Some ideas will land beautifully, others will be ignored, and that's okay. Our role is exposure, not enforcement. We introduce new possibilities. The child decides which ones feel good. So, practical guidelines to remember as you get started. When you're unsure, ask yourself, did I observe first? 2, did I join before I directed? 3, did I add just one small variation? 4, did I keep it playful? 5, did I respect the regulation cues? If yes, you're expanding and not just taking over. When we expand play gently, language increases, joint attention increases, cognitive flexibility increases, problem solving increases, emotional regulation improves, relationships deepen. But even more importantly, the child learns my ideas matter. Play is safe. Adults are fun. New things aren't scary. And that foundation is far more powerful than any scripted play scenario. Expanding play without taking it over is a dance. Sometimes you lead, sometimes you follow, sometimes you simply sit beside. Autistic play is authentic play. Our job is not to reshape it into something typical. Our job is to widen the world gently, one small step at a time. Thank you for spending this time with me. You're doing important work, and the small supports you put into place matter. Keep leading with connection, and I'll talk to you again next week.